Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and today, as by my t-shirt, we're going to talk about the honorary Uce, Sami Zayn. Because right now, following the loss to Kevin Owens at the Elimination Chamber, a lot of fans are wondering, what is Sami Zayn's storyline going to be for WrestleMania? And what is his path to WrestleMania? And when you really look at Sami Zayn's last few WrestleManias, the potential of a Sami Zayn Karrion Kross storyline in a match does kind of feel beneath Sami Zayn. And that's not a knock on Karrion Kross. I think Kross, whether it was him being held back by the Final Testament stuff or just creative not being able to really find what works for him, I think Kross is now finally hitting his groove, and I think they've done a really good job with Kross kind of being this instigator where he's kind of resulted in a lot of the recent heel turns. I mean, New Day interacted with him, and the New Day turned heel on Big E. Then he interacted with The Miz. Miz turned on R-Truth. And that makes me wonder if Sami Zayn is going to be the next in line for a heel turn if he does, in fact, face Karrion Kross at WrestleMania. But before we get into all that, though, I want you guys to hit that like and subscribe button as I do produce weekly wrestling content here on this channel. And with the road to WrestleMania being ramped up, there's going to be a lot of content on this channel, and I'm going to WrestleMania, so I will have a lot of content, vlogs in Las Vegas, so you don't want to miss any of that. But let's talk about Sami Zayn, because his last few WrestleManias, when you look at the things that he's done, and you look at a potential feud with Karrion Kross, and you go, it's a little bit beneath him, right? And again, not a knock on Karrion Kross, the very same way that it's not a knock on Damian Priest for the fans who feel like Drew McIntyre should be doing something more than Damian Priest. Like Damian Priest, I like Damian Priest. But I think Drew McIntyre, for the year that he's had, should be at least fighting for a world title. If he wasn't going to be the one to sell his soul to The Rock, which I mean, obviously now the whole John Cena heel turn, we know now why. But at the very least, he could have been maybe on Raw fighting for the world title. Maybe, Jay Gunther Drew or Drew and Gunther or whatever. But fans felt like Drew deserved a little bit more than Damian Priest. And I think fans look at Karrion Kross the very same way, because look at the last few WrestleManias. Sami Zayn defeated Gunther and ended his record-breaking Intercontinental Championship reign. Won the tag titles with Kevin Owens in the main event of Night 1 at WrestleMania 39. He had a match that had no business being good, but it was a fun match with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania 38. Then he had matches with Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan the previous two WrestleManias. So I feel like when you look at Sami Zayn and what he's done in the last couple WrestleManias, then yeah, I think fans are kind of justified in saying that Sami versus Kross does feel kind of beneath him almost. And now that it's clear Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are going to split off, do their own thing, where does that leave Sami Zayn? Because Sami could feud with Kross, but I also look at kind of where maybe he could be in an Intercontinental title picture again, but he's already done that like twice in the past few WrestleManias where he beat Gunther for the title and he fought Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental title as the champion. Then he's done the tag team title thing. So it almost kind of makes you wonder, maybe Sami Zayn would have been better off in the Jey Uso role of him winning the Royal Rumble, because he's accomplished so much that the next thing up would be fighting for a world title at WrestleMania. And yeah, that would mean Sammy versus Gunther again. So probably they didn't want to do that again. Plus, we've seen Sammy versus Gunther for the world title, but obviously that didn't really change anything because Jey Uso wrestled Gunther for the world title 1 week before winning the Royal Rumble. But again, I think when you look at the roster, I think Sammy does kind of deserve to be better. I mean, maybe you have him in a match like a Raw versus SmackDown match. Maybe he can fight someone from SmackDown. Or it's one of those things where Sammy right now is kind of in limbo because they clearly didn't want to do Sammy and Kevin for WrestleMania, which obviously I get it. Two Canadians in Toronto, do the match there. But now that kind of leaves Sami Zayn in limbo for WrestleMania. Because at this point, do you have Kross effectively turn Sami Zayn heel following all of this? Because one of the things that I do remember is Karrion Kross telling Sami, everyone else is living his dream. Seth Rollins told Sami Zayn, you have to start looking out for yourself. And I feel like there's been little hints here and there with stuff like that that does tell me that Sami Zayn might be turning heel. And maybe Kross, who has poisoned the minds of other baby faces, that Sammy is the next in line. And there's enough time between now and WrestleMania and a loss to Karrion Kross at WrestleMania to cause Sami Zayn to snap. Now, ideally, we've seen John Cena go heel, The New Day, and now, bear with me here. I love Jey Uso. I'm hoping he wins the world title at WrestleMania, because that is going to be insane, especially to be a part of the yeeting when he wins the world title. But could you imagine Karrion Kross poisons the mind of Sami Zayn, and the whole thing of everybody else is living his dream, and he sees his best friend Jey win the world title, and the Raw after WrestleMania, Sami Zayn does the unthinkable, and Jey's first feud as world champion is against his former friend Sami Zayn, who snapped and allowed Karrion to poison his mind. And in a way, Sammy would almost be justified, because he's been playing the good guy role. He's been playing the, I care for everybody else, and I've been trying to do the right thing. And now he's kind of realizing it's not getting him very far. So I do think Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, I think that going into whatever the next pay-per-view is, PLE after WrestleMania, which is either going to be Backlash or it's just going to be another Saturday Night's main event, that it would be a good first opponent for Jey Uso to kind of have a feud with Sami Zayn. It would be a nice callback, a nice reversal of what we saw at WrestleMania 39. Ideally, for me, I would like to see maybe Jimmy Uso win the United States title and Jey Uso win the world title, and then kind of we get the reverse of what we got at WrestleMania 39. But you have Sammy chasing the world title against Jey, and Kevin Owens chasing the U.S. title against Jimmy, and they kind of find a way to intertwine the two. And we get the nice little reverse of WrestleMania 39 with the heel and face uh, dynamic being flipped. How soon are they going to bring him back from TV after what happened at Elimination Chamber? Um, I mean, because they could hold him off. I mean, they could just keep Sami Zayn off until after WrestleMania to sell the injuries and sell the match at the Elimination Chamber. Then we get the Sami heel turn against Jay or whoever else. But yeah, I mean, Karrion Kross versus Sami, if that is going to be what leads to your next world title feud on Raw, where Cross's purpose is to advance the story and get to get Jay set up for his first match as champion, unless Gunther is going to get a rematch or however that works. But I imagine Gunther will probably go to SmackDown in the draft. So I'm assuming that Cross could be the guy to get to set up your next major storyline for the World Heavyweight title between Jay and Sami. But I'm curious what you guys think. Where do you guys think Sami Zayn's path to WrestleMania lies? Is Sami Zayn going to be at WrestleMania, or will he continue selling the injuries in the Elimination Chamber match against KO? Do you want to see Sami turn heel? Comment below. And again, as always, I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.